Welcome to this live edition of Running Back by Committee here on Fantasy Focus, brought to you by the Original Hooters. I'm Derek Tate alongside Ryan Levy and Matt Bucks as we break down the backfield of the Green Bay Packers. Go Pack Go for the 2020 NFL season. And really the story here, boys, is Erin Jones, who had a full-on breakout campaign in 2019. 19 total touchdowns along with 1,500 total yards, had his first 1,000-yard rushing season. So why are we not higher on a player that just finished as the running back 2 in PPR formats, only behind Christian McCaffrey? The reason being, maybe a little bit of touchdown regression is in session. Also, they decided to go ahead and draft A.J. Dillon in the second round, who is a poor man's Derrick Henry as far as size-speed ratio goes at the running back spot. And, of course, we still got Jamaal Williams kind of sniffing around there in Green Bay. So, Bucky, I'm going to throw it to you first. What are our thoughts on Erin Jones? Should we be expecting a significant regression, or is this a little bit overstated because of the fact they drafted A.J. Dillon in the second round?
I'm not concerned this season about A.J. Dillon. I'm certainly not concerned about Jamal Williams, even though Jamal Williams did rattle off about 146 touches, I want to say, last year, somewhere around there, which is a pretty substantial margin for a backup running back. Regardless, though, yes, will there be a drop-off in touchdowns? I think it's safe to say or safe to assume that that will be in session there to roll with your punches there, Tater. I'm still in UFC mode from last night. But what it comes down to for me is they will feed him the rock. And, you know, it's not like they're juicing up the silos in terms of receiving threats on the Packers for Aaron Rodgers. And they kind of found that sweet spot a little bit last year where they did flex that run game quite well. I think A.J. Dillon, yeah, he might snake some touchdowns, but I look for Erin Jones to, again, have well over 250 total touches. I look for him to exceed 1,300 yards and get 10 touchdowns, which is still a top 10 fantasy running back here.
Yeah, I am not down on Erin Jones at all. I mean, this guy single-handedly put several of my fantasy teams on his back last year and won me some championships. So I agree, Bucky. He's probably going to have more than 250 touches again. I think what was he, like 280 something, 290 last year?
Right around 280, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so for a guy that had a season like that, I'm not afraid of A.J. Dillon. I think Jamal Williams has his own standalone PPR value. I just think the disrespect this offseason for Erin Jones has gone too far. I mean, 206, if I can get this guy as that's his ADP. If I can get this guy as my RB2, I'm ecstatic about that.
I think it's the pendulum has swung a little bit too far as the hate that goes for Erin Jones, because you saw last year he really benefited from Matt LaFleur and that new Shanahan style system, and we saw him blow away his production in the passing game. I mean, he just shy of 50 receptions, very heavily involved in the passing attack, which you gotta love to see. And Dillon's not going to eat into that. I mean, if anything, maybe Jamal Williams a little bit. But I loved the rushing schemes that LaFleur implemented, and it fit Erin Jones perfectly. It's just a little perplexing is why, if Erin Jones had such a great year, why draft A.J. Dillon in the second round? Of course, I look at it the same reason. Why in the hell you just went 13-3 and went to the NFC Championship game and you drafted a quarterback in the first round when you still have a healthy Aaron Rodgers? A lot of it doesn't make sense here in Green Bay.
It's the season ticket holders trust making all the picks there. Ooh, shiny object. I love it. I'm just kidding. I love the fine folks of Green Bay. They treated us like kings up there.
Yes, that was an awesome experience.
That was probably one of the better trips I've had. In particular, going to an opposing team stadium. I haven't had a better one. I loved Green Bay.
Well, just as an aside, you see Lambeau from the outside. You've seen it on TV until you step into those hallowed grounds, and it's awesome. It is just so awesome. So I'm not that was a joke about the season ticket holders trust there, aka the ownership. No. I'm with you, Tate. I think that people are a bit too downtrodden on this guy. I fail to understand why he's not a first round pick, because like we just said, we expect him to have another good season. I don't expect there to be a Jamal Williams renaissance, or all of a sudden you insert A.J. Dillon, all of a sudden you have a pure vulture on your hands. No, Aaron Jones is a tough runner in between the tackles. He's going to do what he needs to do at the goal line, and he's their main guy. You said it. They went 13-3. Here's the recipe. They just added a little pepper. You know what I'm saying? Like a little salt, a little pepper in there with A.J. Dillon, and I guess Jordan Love too. That's the salt and pepper combination. But that's all they did. The recipe is the same, just a little more spice in there. And if the recipe is good, you ain't going to tweak it all that much. And I think that's going to be the same thing here with Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Sorry, Levy, go
ahead. I just think if you're like picking at the turn and he's there, that's a good guy to build your team around. I'm with you guys. I'm really high on him this year still. Like I said, I've got long-term memory as it relates to Aaron Jones. He did a lot good for me last year, but I think if you're in dynasty formats, you should be a little concerned. Maybe they draft A.J. Dillon as like his successor here because they don't want to pay Aaron Jones because that's the Green Bay way.
Well, nobody wants to pay any running back on their second contract ever.
So I like Dillon in dynasty formats, but redraft, I'm really high on Aaron Jones. If I'm picking at 12 or, I want to get him on the way back, 12, 13, I think that's a good spot for him. I think he's going too late.
Yeah, I've seen regularly in most mocks that we've participated in, at least the ones I have, where I've seen guys like Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs consistently go in front of Aaron Jones. And I don't agree with that whatsoever. I mean, I don't get me wrong. Will A.J. Dillon potentially knock into some of the goal line looks because he's a battering ram? Yes, he could eat into that touchdown production, and 19 touchdowns, that's very, very, very high given his slew of touches. So I still think even if he scores 10 to 12 touchdowns with 1,500 total yards, that is still a back in an offense that's productive and still led by Aaron Rodgers that I expect to be productive. I mean, he still remained very efficient despite seeing over 200 touches, and for the first time really displayed that he can stay durable. Because his first 2 years of his career, he got dinged up here and there. Last year was really the first time he stayed healthy and productive and efficient to go along with it. And his pass game production went through the roof. I mean, he doubled his receptions from both 2017 and 2018 in 2019. So all that being said, he's in the same system, like you said, Buck, with just a little bit of pepper tweak. You got a healthy Devontae Adams. That might not help and might not hurt either.
Yeah, maybe some red pepper flakes on there.
I just think his floor is top 10 running back and his ceiling's top 5.
Well, exactly. So we've seen his
Upside,
ceiling.
whatever you want to say.
Jamaal Williams still saw over 100 carries. I don't see Jamaal Williams having over 100 carries now that they have A.J. Dillon in town. If anything, Jamaal Williams and A.J. Dillon may see somewhere between 50 to 100 carries, but Jones is still going to be the bell cow. He's still going to see over 200 carries, I think. I expect Jones to produce similar numbers in the passing game, somewhere between 40 to 55, 60 receptions on the top end, which still leaves Aaron Jones, depending on touchdowns, still going to be very productive. Maybe not a top 5 fantasy season, but definitely top 10.
Yeah, no doubt. And Sab, I see in the comments down there. Thanks for joining, man. Only player with 30 plus TDs and 5 yards per carry since 2017. Going to beast again. Top 10, top 5. I agree with you, man, in terms of where he's going to land. So to get him in the second round, I mean, depending on where you're picking, that's great. That's fantastic.
That's really the big thing is Kyle Senra jumping in, saying that he could see Jones losing some red zone carries. And when you look at a lot of the reason why he finished the running back 2 in PPR had a lot to do with the fact that he scored 19 total touchdowns. I do expect that number to regress, but not to the point where, he should be going at the back half of the second round. That's crazy.
Agreed. There's going to be regression what is he going to score 20 touchdowns this year? I, for one, highly doubt it. The chances of that happening are very slim. And the fact of the matter is, A.J. Dillon is a threat, especially near the goal line. I expect him to come in there and have some spot time. But I don't expect there to be a significant drop-off with Aaron Jones. Top 10 for me.
Levy, anything else?
I agree. I'm bullish, man. I think he's probably my guy that I think you're going to get the most value out of this year in terms of that ADP. If he stays in the second round, I'm excited about it. And I don't think you're crazy if you want to reach for him.
We were taking him like early second round last season. And what's changed? He scored 19 touchdowns last year and was phenomenally productive and saw his pass catching volume go up. Like everything you wanted to see from Aaron Jones came to fruition. So why the hate this year? A.J. Dillon doesn't scare me that much. Like, not that much.
Maybe Corey Dillon, but not AJ.
Clock Dillon, Corey Dillon, baby.
Kyle agrees with you, Tater. Williams is probably taking a hit in carries, but he could maintain some pass catching upside for sure. Sab says he loves the NFL talk.
Oh, yeah.
And we got Miss AL.
Oh, we got Misa Mar in the building. What's
Yes.
going on, pal?
Is Sabatino, I mean, if we're talking, we see the woo-woo, or is it just like a Ric Flair? One good Ric Flair. Woo!
Woo!
Buckey? Woo! Woo! All right, so stay with us. Speaking, if you want to go ahead and check out more of our NFL content, we're doing ourselves a little round-robin marathon here for the Running Back by Committee series. We're going to be ending this video, but check us out. Again, if you have not yet done so, if you're joining us for the first time on our YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, the like button as well, as we're going to be breaking down and finishing up our Running Back by Committee series here today on Fantasy Focus. Check us out within the next 5 minutes. We are going to be breaking down Dalvin Cook and the Minnesota Vikings backfield heading into the 2020 NFL season. Sound off in the comments about what you like about Aaron Jones. And until next time, in 5 minutes, baby, later, says the Tater. Woo!
Go, Derek. Thank you.
See ya.